Hello guys, and welcome once again to Kind Party. So today we're going to be talking about the compensation or the benefits that you get when you finally get a job inside the United Arab Emirates. So if you're someone out of the country or you're already in the UAE and you have not had your first job and you're planning to come here to get your first job, you have to first of all understand the things that you're going to get from the company that is going to hire you. So you are supposed to understand the benefits, the compensations, and everything so that you can finally make a good plan if you're actually coming to the country or not, or if the benefits or if the things that you're going to get are supposed to be enough for you and your family. Without wasting much time, the first thing that you're supposed to know, the first benefit that you get when you get a job in the United Arab Emirates, like in any other country, is your salary. But now, the salary in the United Arab Emirates is sometimes separated into two forms. So we have the basic pay and the full package. So the basic pay is actually what we call the basic salary, right? This is the base salary that you get from your company. And this basic pay is also tied to your gratuity, your end of service benefit. So it is very, very important, which means your salary, depending on the company, might be just a basic pay plus accommodation and transportation or any other benefits, or it can be a full package whereby the company gives you, for example, 10,000 dirhams, and you get that 10,000 dirhams every month and take care of your transportation. You are the one to take care of your transportation, you are the one to take care of your accommodation and your feeding or any other thing. However, there's a different situation whereby they give you just the basic pay at the end of the month. So when they give you that basic pay at the end of the month, the company is offering you a separate accommodation and transportation service. So there are company accommodations. Some companies have their own company accommodation, maybe a shared room with someone else, whereby you stay there and they will deduct that money from your full package. So when they deduct the accommodation allowance, when they deduct the transportation, at the end of the day, you are left with the basic pay that you are going to receive in your bank account every month. So understand this, there's a basic pay and there's a full package. So sometimes I prefer the full package, because when you get the full package, including your accommodation and your transportation allowance, you have the freedom to choose where you want to stay. You have the freedom to choose how you can manage your accommodation, your allowance yourself. So it is much better sometimes when I get my full package and I decide, oh, I want to stay this way, I want to stay near the company, I want to stay far away, I decide where I want to stay. So it becomes more and more beneficial for me. So you have to understand that you always get a basic pay, which is a fixed amount of money that doesn't change. It might only change when you get an increment or an increase in salary in the subsequent months or years as you work in the company. And you also have the extras that takes care of your accommodation, your transportation, and in some other industries you might get commission or any other bonuses that you get. Another benefit that you get when you work in the United Arab Emirates is paid annual leave. So every year as an employee in the United Arab Emirates, you are entitled to a paid annual leave. This leave, depending on the company, can be 21 working days per year, or it can be 30 days per year. So in some instances, it can be 21 working days, but these 21 working days can easily change to 30 days because they don't include the weekends, right? So working days is minus the weekends. So at the end of the day, it's normally 30 days. So, or 1 month. People just say you have a 1 month leave every year. In some companies, maybe some different big roles, it can be increased depending on the company policy, but you have a minimum of at least 30 days per year for your annual leave. And this is paid, meaning that if you go on holiday to your country, then the company is supposed to pay your full salary for that month that you go on holiday. In some other companies, you are supposed to receive a flight ticket. In some companies, as per the policy, you're supposed to receive a flight ticket every year. But as per the government policy, you have to receive a paid annual leave and a flight ticket at least every 2 years. So when you complete 2 years in a company and when you're going for your second annual leave, that company is supposed to provide you with a flight ticket for you to go to your annual leave and return back to the country if you are still supposed to continue with the company. Okay, so the company is supposed to pay your flight ticket And in some instances, some companies go and pay the flight for their employees, and in other instances, the companies transfer this money into your bank account so that you can pay for your ticket yourself. And it doesn't matter if you don't want to go, no problem. If you want to stay in the country, you can just stay and enjoy your money. So, but you have to know that you are entitled to at least 1 month every year for annual leaves. If you decide not to go for annual leave, that company is supposed to turn your annual leave into cash. So they are supposed to give you that money in cash if you don't want to go for annual leave per year. But again, it depends on the company. There are instances where you are forced to go for annual leave, and there are some instances that if you don't want to go, maybe the company needs you too much, then you might stay. You might discuss with them and you stay, and they will give you cash. So remember, this is very important. You are entitled to at least 30 days of annual leave every year. The third thing that you get as an employee in the United Arab Emirates with a resident visa when you finally get a job is medical insurance. This is very, very important, and I think the most important thing, or the most important thing personally to me when I came to this country, is this medical insurance, because it is totally free. It is free in the sense that you get a medical insurance as per the law. The company is supposed to provide you with this medical coverage. So the company might choose between the so many medical insurance companies in the country, and they might provide you with a plan, a company plan. So when you get that plan, you are covered, meaning you are entitled to go to the hospital, any hospital that covers your insurance plan, any hospital that is accepting your insurance. You are free to go to that hospital anytime you feel sick, for consultations, for lab tests and all that. So you are free to go to the hospital and you will enjoy the benefits of your medical insurance. Within the past months, so many huge companies have included mental health into their coverage, into their company coverage for their employees. So it is a very important step and something that people enjoy in the United Arab Emirates. If you're planning to come here, don't worry about anything, because you're going to be covered by the company insurance. And it's free, like I said. If you go to the hospital sometimes for consultations, you might pay maybe 50 dirhams for the consultations and medications and everything. And you might even go for scans, CT scans, x-rays, ultrasounds and all these things. And it is relatively free for you to get all these things inside the United Arab Emirates once you get a job. The fourth thing that you get when you finally get a job, the fourth benefit that you get is the full coverage of your employment visa and the processing fee. So when you finally get a job and the company sends you an offer letter and the labor contract for you to sign, the company is the one to make sure that they foot the bills of the processing of your visa, your insurance and everything that you need so that you can start your job smoothly. So you're not supposed to pay any amount of money from your pocket. So the company takes care of everything. That's the benefit of having a job here. The company takes care of everything that you need as to start a job, to be a legal worker in the country. So you don't have to worry about that. That is a good benefit, and that's an advantage that you have once you get a job in the United Arab Emirates. Another important thing that you get when you are working in the United Arab Emirates, or when you get a job in the United Arab Emirates, is that you will be entitled to a gratuity. So your gratuity is part of your end of service benefit. So at the end of your contract with the company, or if you have spent at least 1 year in the company and you want to leave the company, you are entitled to gratuity. This gratuity is calculated depending on the number of years that you have spent in the company, and I've already made a video regarding how to calculate your gratuity, so you can check the video on the channel. So this gratuity is an amount of money that the company is supposed to give to you if you have spent at least 1 year in their company, and it is part of your end of service benefit. It is your right that you must have that gratuity. Another important benefit that you get in the United Arab Emirates when you are employed by a company is a return flight home when you finally finish your contract. So at the end of your contract, maybe you signed a contract for 2 years or 3 years. At the end of that contract, the company is supposed to provide you with a return ticket to your country if you don't want to renew, or if you don't want to stay again in the country. So at the end of your legal contract in the country, the Your company is supposed to provide you with a flight ticket back to your home country. So that is what you are entitled to, and that is the benefit that you need to avail if the time comes. Another important benefit that the ladies are going to enjoy is maternity leave. So remember I talked about your insurance. So when you have insurance in the United Arab Emirates and you are married, you are entitled to maternity leave. So if you're married, even if you can show to the company, if you can upload your documents, your marriage certificate in the system, and the company accepts that marriage certificate, then you can avail your maternity leave. So maternity leave, according to the new law, has been extended up to about 2 months, that is 60 days. So as a lady or as a woman working in the company, feel free, you can have a baby in any company, and just know that you'll be covered for 60 days. And for the first 45 days, I think it is paid. So, and the next 15 days are not paid, are unpaid. So for 60 days, you can take that time to have your baby, to regain some strength and prepare to come back to work. So you can enjoy your maternity leave. And again, it is not only left for the lady, but in some companies they have a policy also for paternity leave. So you have maybe up to about 7 days for paternity leave, meaning when you just have when your wife just had a baby, you can actually take some leave to actually be with your wife or to help her for some few days to run around to prepare some documents like the birth certifications and all that, to put things together before you can come back to work fully. So you can enjoy paternity leave in the United Arab Emirates and maternity leave coverage under your insurance that you have. Another important thing that you get in the United Arab Emirates once you finally get a job is sick leaves. So as per the law, companies usually give about 45 days. The law has instituted 45 days of sick leaves to every employee in the company. So you can avail 45 days each year. So if you are sick, you can go to the hospital, and for some companies, you can stay. If you are sick for just 1 day, you don't need to have a sick leave certificate. But for other companies, even if it is 1 day, you need to provide a sick leave certificate. So when you go to the hospital or to a clinic and you go to consult, make sure that at the end of the consultation or at the end of your treatment, you're supposed to get a sick leave certificate from the hospital or the clinic so that you can provide to your company. And that way, you'll be covered by the sick leaves, and that will be deducted from your sick leave days, and your salary is supposed to be paid in full. You will not have any issue regarding your salary or at work. You need to show a valid sick leave certificate. Without a sick leave certificate, it might cause huge problems for you. Your salary might be deducted, you might receive some warnings from the company, and you might even lose your job. Another important benefit that you get when working in the United Arab Emirates is study leave. So this study leave is limited to some companies. Like in my company, I'm enjoying study leave. So if I want to study, I can apply for study leave. Maybe I want to take a course, but that course must have a certificate. So if I'm going for study leave, I must make sure that the leave that I'm taking or the course that I'm taking, that course is supposed to offer me a valid certificate that I'm going to show to my company. Like this is what I've obtained. That is when that study leave is supposed to be valid. So in some companies, this is not for all companies, but they offer you study leave so that you can improve yourself and you can enjoy or avail that benefit if you have a valid course that you are attending. Another important benefit that you will get when you get a job in the United Arab Emirates is accommodation and transportation. So in most companies, you realize that they have like their company buses that they use to transport their employees from one place or another. So you can enjoy that benefit if your company has that. But if they don't have, they usually include this here as part of your salary breakdown. So when you see your labor contract or your offer, they will break down your salary into your basic salary, your accommodation allowance, and your transportation allowance. So they are doing this because they don't want to give you all this money as your basic salary. Because if they give you all this money as a basic salary, then when they're calculating your gratuity, you will get a very high gratuity. They will need to pay you a very high gratuity because the gratuity is calculated based on your basic salary. So that is why they always try to make sure that they squeeze or they bring down your basic salary, and they prefer to spread that money into your accommodation allowance or your transportation allowance. So again, you will enjoy accommodation allowance because it will be placed in your salary, or the company might have a company accommodation and they might give you that accommodation, or they might provide accommodation for you to stay. In some companies, you have the option to deny the company accommodation and you might decide to stay in your own place. Some, they might give you an extra money for that, or some, they might tell you that that is not their policy, so you might be forced to stay in the company accommodation. Again, accommodation and transportation, if you are not if the company doesn't give you, or if the company doesn't provide that, then they will include that in your salary breakdown, meaning that at the end of the month you will receive a full package and you'll be the one to decide how much you want to pay for your partition, or for your room, or for your villa, or anything, or any place that you decide to stay. So again guys, those are some of the benefits that you get in the United Arab Emirates when you finally get a job. And remember, you get an Emirates ID card, which is very important for you to open a bank account and so many other things. So if there's something that I've missed, please put it in the comment section. And if you have any questions, don't forget to always put it in the comment section so that we can all learn. Have a nice time, and please, for those who have not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel and hit the like button.